Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Coffee Cult podcast. I can already tell you this is going to be a doozy of an episode because it's taken 45 minutes just to get to this point. We've had to start and restart 6 different times, so this should be fun.
We had some really interesting conversations that aren't appropriate for the internet.
Yeah. Those will be on the editing room floor, as they say.
Maybe the dumpster.
Yes, they will. Absolutely on fire. Before we get into it, what are we all drinking and what is around your neck, Jamie?
Yeah, whoa.
Well, first of all, my name's Jamie and I'm the bus
Jamie,
driver.
Lucas, JD.
I drive the bus, if you don't know. I drive the bus and sweep the floor and all the other stuff. This is a special treat that I received from a customer.
Ooh.
Do anyone know what this is? This is a jelly cat.
I know.
It's a jelly cat. Thank you, Isa. Thank you very much. And inside my jelly cat, actually, so I can walk around with my jelly cat and my coffee and my thing. So I don't think I'm the correct demographic for this sort of thing, but I love
Makes
it.
it infinitely better.
Which just
You
makes
don't
it
have
so
to
much better.
pigeonhole yourself.
No, I know. I also watch Beast Games, so go figure. I love all that stuff. So this has my Coffee Cult coffee in it. If you can see right here, we have it's a jelly cat holder. Holds a 16 ounce coffee, and I am drinking. Guess what I'm drinking?
Yeah, it's a total mystery. He would not tell us.
They asked.
Well,
I'm like, no. You
I
have
see
to
it's
have
a hot
surprise.
cup, so it's a hot drink.
Yes,
Let me guess. Is it going to be
a salted caramel latte. Because it's in a
Jamie's
jelly
favorite.
of course.
Salted caramel latte. Wow.
See?
Is that
Yeah.
the first time you've ever had that?
Yes, and I made this because I don't know how to make a flat white, and I think that if you have this, you should be listening to Taylor Swift drinking flat whites. But
Okay.
I know the baristas know how to make them here, but I made this drink myself, so I was like, I'm gonna make that. So jelly cat, you should get yours now. They're pretty cute. They're cool.
Yeah,
Thank you, Isa. I love my jelly cat, by the way.
All right. So that's
It's kind of hard to compare to that.
I know we won't be able to beat it, but what are you drinking there, Mr. Lucas?
Well, I got another fancy bougie drink. I got this creme brulee latte that I made myself.
Yeah.
A little bit of a... See, I'm not sure if we're going to be surviving with this decision, but to make a creme brulee, you do need to torch the top of you usually torch the top of the dessert, and for this we top it off with a sugar. You blow torch it to get that little top layer, kind of like a creme brulee.
Has anybody ordered those since we added them?
You just did.
I did.
Got sold one.
I don't know. Is Vance over there? Yes. Vance, have you sold any creme brulee lattes?
No.
Not yet.
We're
Most of our
working
customers
on it.
don't drink that
We're
sort of
working
thing.
on it.
Exactly. Look, this is.
But we do have it on the menu.
This was inspired by some California trip, and you know what? It's funny, fancy stuff that we can have for ourselves.
There you go.
Which is where the jelly cat came from, too. It was a
Yeah,
California
exactly.
trip.
See, lots of things came from California.
What you got there, JD?
I have a campfire mocha.
Oh, another fancy coffee cult drink.
Yep. Love myself a good mocha.
What's in that
And,
drink? Do you know?
Honey and what else?
Chocolate,
Chocolate,
yeah,
of
this is
course.
both.
dark
good.
chocolate, and graham crackers.
Graham crackers. That was
Yep.
the other ingredient that I was trying to think of. My first time having it. Really good though.
Is it? Yeah.
I like it.
A little sugary
stuff.
for me. I'm a coffee purist, so the
Yeah.
A
fact
little
that-
sugary for
okay.
you for the salted caramel guy.
like I
over
said,
there.
for me to be drinking a salted caramel latte.
Well,
but
it's only fitting for him to have that in the jelly can.
it went.
I think.
I was like, it's going to my jelly cat.
It's okay. I'll probably be having some Cumbres pour over after this at this point.
Yeah,
like to wash
for
your
sure.
system out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just don't make it an espresso, so you got cherry vomit.
Yeah, we're gonna wash this down with some holiday blend afterwards.
I even got. You're authentic when you have a jelly cat logo inside.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
like-
no,
That's
it's-
official.
For reals.
Well, and maybe that is a good transition to the next topic because
Made in
this
London.
is authentic. It's not a Chinese knockoff.
What?
And speaking of,
Hold on,
we
where's this made?
posted a clip from the last podcast a few weeks ago
Thanks. Get me in
where
trouble.
Jamie, who was not listening, talked about
Trying to see where this jelly cat's made. If it's in London or China. It's like this all day long here.
Stirring the pot.
Off the rails. It only took
We need
5
the
minutes,
live
but
TV
we're
show
off
to
the
follow
rails.
the insanity that happens over here.
It says London, but then it says Minneapolis on it. I know they didn't make this in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
It's probably where they shipped it to.
It doesn't say. It must have made it in the
All right.
USA. Oh,
I need you to reel in Jamie over there.
Made in Vietnam, U.S. protected territory.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
There we go. Now that we have settled that, I'm
Yes.
glad that we all solved that crisis. Oh, but as I was saying, a few weeks ago when we did the podcast, Jamie talked about coffee coming from China. We posted a clip of it, and boy, did it stir the pot.
I didn't know people love China so much.
We got
Mission achieved.
comments about China catching strays and people saying Jamie was full of it, and they didn't really believe him. So Jamie wanted to address these comments.
It's true. I have a jelly cat. You have to believe me.
Do you want to
Instantly
expand on
believable.
that at all?
I would. The best way to explain this is coffee C market right now is $3.85 for a pound of coffee for the worst, crappiest grade of coffee you can get. Do I agree on this?
Yes. I've
We
seen
buy
it.
plus coffee diffs, so we're normally paying $8, $10, $12, $14, $20, sometimes $200 for a pound of coffee. Green before we ship it. You have shipping on that. So you have, let's say you got 10 cents, 15 cents to ship a pound of coffee. Shipping rates are what shipping rates are. So you're into that coffee for $4. When you roast coffee, you get 20% loss. So it takes 2.2 pounds to make it, or makes 2.4 pounds to make a roughly 2.2, 2.3 pounds to make 2 pounds of coffee. So 2 pounds of coffee you're into for $8 and a bag. The bag's going to cost you anywhere if you got a cheap, crappy bag, and you're in China, you're paying 10 cents a bag. A bag could cost you up to $1.50. So let's just say that coffee is costing you $10 for a coffee. Commercial grade coffee, not high-end coffee, commercial grade coffee. If you go to Amazon right now, you can buy coffee for $12 for 2 pounds of coffee. Amazon takes a roughly 40% cut. So if you're going to tell me that coffee, that $12 for 2 pounds is high quality and the same as the coffee that you get at Coffee Cult is, I challenge you. Like, let's have like an in-person, like Matt from Off-Road Recoveries, they did like the tow truck challenge or whatever. Let's do it. Let's bring it. Bring it here.
Awesome
we'll
reference.
broadcast it.
Yeah.
We'll pay for it. It's just the math doesn't make sense. So that alone. So generally what happens is lower grade coffees are less expensive, or old coffees. So a lot of times the reason the coffee prices are the way they are, the C market, the commercial market, which is traded as a commodity on the stock exchange, large companies like Nissan, Ford, you may not know or realize they all have commodities divisions. All they do is trade coffee, gold, metals, a lot of pork rinds. I didn't know this until I was actually on a coffee trip, and I met a guy that worked at the Colombian government, and his job used to be working for Nissan trading coffee commodities. That's how he got his job in coffee. I had no idea this existed, and I only know about this from being in coffee. So these big companies buy and sell coffee to each other, and it's the way they hedge their money. And basically, at some point, they got to get rid of the coffee. And after 4 or 5 years of being in storage and passing it around from one commodity trader to the other, the coffee goes to these crappy coffee roasters. And that's where you get this really low-end coffee, because by then it's not worth anything. It's bad coffee. So that's actually that's who's driving. There's two things that drive the coffee pricing, and coffee pricing is crazy right now, but there's two things that drive coffee pricing. One is the commodities market, and two is the weather, and Brazil. So Brazil is the second highest producing coffee country in the world. Who's the first?
Colombia.
Nope. Colombia's number 3.
Costa Rica.
Nope. Vietnam.
Oh yeah.
That makes a lot of
Yes,
sense,
and
actually.
a lot of time you don't see Vietnam coffee because it's low level and generally Robusta coffee. So when you hear people say, "I want my Robusta coffee," yeah, good luck, enjoy that.
Yeah. We don't.
But that's we don't roast
Yes,
Robusta
roast
generally.
that, yeah.
I mean, if we want to have like a cup off, we can do like a SCA cupping with like the crappy coffee versus like some nice Arabica coffee.
Yeah.
Any day, I love challenges. Bring me a coffee, and we'll cup it against anything. You pick whatever coffee in our building, and we'll cup it and we'll compare them.
And I think what's interesting is that a lot of people, perhaps depending on their circumstances, because for example, I didn't grow up with my parents drinking high-end specialty grade coffee. So I think there's generally a lot of people that just don't realize how significant the difference is between commercial grade and what we have here with specialty grade coffee.
Sure.
Like,
We're in South Florida. When I moved here, I started roasting my own coffee because everyone was drinking Cuban coffee. Everyone's like, I love Cuban coffee. It's the culture. It is. It's just crappy coffee with tons of sugar, over-steamed. And they put the milk in the pitcher and they open up the steam wand until all the steam's out of the tank. If you don't know, if you're not, most people aren't baristas, but if you are a barista, you know if you oversteam milk, what happens, Lucas?
Tastes like crap.
Tastes like crap, but why?
So I know basically you're aerating it like out the wazoo pretty much, right?
So you overheat it and it molecularly breaks down the milk to where it tastes bitter. So it's technically what's happening. So you're just breaking down the proteins and the fats in the milk so much you've just separated everything, and that's actually technically why they taste bad. So you don't want to oversteam your milk.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay, so yeah, take the challenge. Get some of this. Go get some of that commercial grade, and
we don't hate China. China actually has does grow Arabica coffee, and it's a very small market right now.
Well, they're also speaking of China, they're also at there's Land of Diversity, I think, right? Or weren't they bidding on coffee over there?
Yeah, so we know a lot of Chinese coffee roasters from being in from China, from the UAE, from way over there on the other side of the pond in Dubai. They couldn't come to the Land of Diversity auction in Colombia.
So you can find good coffee over there, but
yeah. And they're all over there. They always want to buy coffee. They always want to buy coffee companies. They're like, "Can we see your books? You want to sell?" Not really. Definitely not to a Chinese company, but they're business guys just like anyone else. So, but there is quality coffee in China. But I'm talking about, and I was referencing, and I still tell you that there are people that sell coffee that buy it from China in bulk, buy the container, pre-packaged for $2 a bag of coffee. And they sell it in the U.S. for $3 to $5 a bag of coffee. This is generally C-store coffee, and if you don't know what a C-store is, you're lucky, but generally it's a gas station. So generally it's gas station coffee.
Yeah, and you can really taste the difference.
You
can taste the difference. And yeah, I mean, look, buy a bag and try it. You're gonna be shocked. I'm telling you.
We have satisfaction guarantee.
You're gonna be shocked. Yeah.
But if you shop at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, where our coffee's probably not for you.
The $5 store.
Let's keep.
Is it a $5 store now?
No, but everything there's pretty much $5.
Oh my goodness, I'm making so many friends.
Let's keep the conversation international for a second because, and let's not get too crazy here, but we do want to talk about the possibility of tariffs. So there was a brief tariff on Colombia. Now that went away quickly, but to speak on what the ramifications could look like if that happened, I know Jamie wanted to.
Well, I'm glad the Colombia thing.
Like.
I'm glad the Colombia thing wound up working out well, because within like 30 minutes my phone was blowing up from my friends in Colombia. If we would have had a tariff like that, I'm not saying I support tariffs. I'm not saying don't support the tariffs. I understand what's happening and it's a lot of politics, but what I can tell you is that a 25% tariff on coffee would have made your coffee gone up probably about 30 to 40% in general, just because everything else would have been going up along with it. And besides that, so as coffee roasters, if that would have happened, we would have had we have coffee in the U.S. We buy containers of coffee. They come to the U.S. So it wouldn't affect us immediately, but it would affect us within probably 3 or 4 months. And what that would do is that would make everybody would stop buying Colombian coffee, and they would make a run on probably Brazil coffee would be the next coffee. So Brazil's generally known as, I'm going to get flack for this too. Brazil's a filler coffee. It is. I don't know what to tell you. Brazil is and I don't say that meanly. And Brazil has some very nice micro lots. I'm not beating Brazil up, but most coffee roasters use Brazil as a filler. So when you see something has Brazil in it, it's because of the filler, because it's the least expensive Arabica coffee you generally can can purchase. It's because they grow it in such quantity. They actually control the market. If the weather's bad in Brazil, coffee goes up in price because Brazil's exports there's going to be less coffee from Brazil. So the same thing with the tariffs. If there's less coffee from one place, the coffee everywhere else is going to go up as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Increasing demand.
It is a filler. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's not. I'm not saying it's bad coffee. It's just a filler.
it's just a filler coffee.
Well, like it works pretty well as a filler, though, I will say. And I mean, most importantly, it's Arabica coffee. I mean, like we've come to Brazil here. I mean, it's been pretty great every time I've had it, at least.
We have a Brazil. It's not bad coffee. It's just not
filler.
It's a filler. It's not a really complex coffee.
Yeah, it just works like kind of well in like whatever blend.
Does your Jelly Cat have Brazil coffee in it?
No, probably not. Okay, so thanks for that explanation. Hopefully we can avoid those issues moving forward.
Aren't they friendly?
So one of the main things for this episode, and I have absolutely no idea where this is going to go, so I'm equally excited and terrified at the same time.
My Jelly Cat took off.
But Jamie has a school that he wants to introduce and talk about. So prepare yourselves now, buckle up, because who knows where this is going to go.
Well, I guess it's a good thing you do with the Jelly Cat for this conversation.
I might have to go get the Jelly Cat. Actually, I need more of Dave.
Well, that's a little bit more.
So coming up with the comments about China and people having hurt feelings and stuff about, I said that some bad coffee came from China. There's bad coffee in the U.S. too, and all different things. There's just really bad coffee. There's one of our competitors just went out of business. We looked to buy, couldn't even touch it. It was like such bad coffee. It wasn't even worth purchasing. I won't say who they were, but two of their employees work here now. So, with everyone having hurt feelings and drinking peppermint creamer, I think it's appropriate that maybe possibly that we have an alpha school.
Okay.
Feel free to
What
elaborate
do
on
you
this
mean
one.
by that?
Well, you see on TV and on the internet these alpha schools in California that are charging like $20,000 for 3 days so some muscle dude can yell at you and tell you to sit in the
ice cold bath.
in the ice cold bath or whatever, roll around on the beach or carry a log. You know what? Just being an asshole doesn't make you an alpha. So being able to be an asshole is definitely a trait of being an alpha. But generally, so I just think that people need some sensitivity training. Maybe decent. Maybe we can.
In the other way, I think.
Right. They need to be less sensitive. Exactly. So, but more importantly, maybe they just need to learn the ways of life.
Okay.
So,
How
what's
are
the
you
curriculum?
going to do that?
Well, I can tell you right now, there's no Coke peppermint creamer. You're drinking black coffee.
Straight black coffee.
You're drinking black coffee, good black coffee, so you can, so you know what real good black coffee tastes like. Once you have good coffee, you're like, oh, this is good coffee. You're not going to want to drink the crappy coffee.
Put some damn eye cracker in there.
Right. It's not about running around on the beach getting yelled at, telling you that your wife is screwing some other dude or something. It's you got to know to be able to negotiate, right? Negotiation skills, that's an alpha skill, right? Drinking coffee, alpha skill.
Black coffee.
Black coffee, right? Coffee. Not coffee, not lattes, coffee. What else? What are other good alpha skills you think, Lucas? Lucas needs to go to alpha school. He's got soft hands. Shooting guns?
I'll beat this guy in arm
Lucas is
wrestling any day, by
advocating
the
for
way.
shooting guns. That didn't even come from me.
Well, that was
Okay?
part of the curriculum, I thought.
Yeah, well, there is going to be firearms training every day after lunch.
Okay.
Barbecuing, learn to barbecue, run a smoker,
Let's see.
negotiate,
There's some other things in there, but I'm not sure if I should say it on camera.
negotiations, right? Negotiations. The idea of talking about the Alpha School wasn't about all the days in Alpha School. It was just to mention Alpha School, that you don't really have to go to a school where people are yelling at you running around the beach, because there's a lot of other traits in being an alpha than just being tough rolling around in the bushes.
Well, basically, I think one of the biggest ones, I mean, you can censor this one, but I mean, like, not being able to, not taking shit from other people, pretty much.
Yeah, well, not taking shit, but also, caring. caring is an alpha trait. Is if you can't care about people, then you can't lead them. So you can't be an alpha. So if you're just a dickhead, you're like a fascist Hitler. But if you're if you're going to be, no, for real. I mean, that's what that is. If you were, I mean, just yelling at people. How many? I mean, there's I was just watching. Imagine that I watch YouTube, but I just saw some story on YouTube. Was it CoffeeZilla, something like that, about
Probably.
alpha guy that was doing classes that went broke and was going to jail because it was a Ponzi scheme. Imagine that.
Yeah.
But his whole thing was, I'm an alpha. Fuck you. You know what? That's not an alpha. That's actually what brought this up. Was I saw that video. I'm like, that's not an alpha. An alpha is a leader, someone that gets stuff done, doesn't take shit. People, but the main thing is getting stuff done. Where do you want to go? Having a goal. Those are important things. Goal setting. We're also going to have some other important classes from guest instructors. I think we had some volunteers for stripper, how to tip strippers, and stuff like that.
That was the one I was going to mention.
That's not me. That came up. AZ. If anyone knows my buddy AZ volunteered that, and actually I mentioned that might be a better trait, something to do better for my buddy. I would just say his initials are SS.
Maybe we'll keep that as an extracurricular at night for those interested.
Well, sure, absolutely, 100%. I mean, you got to be able to fend for yourself and have goals. That's the whole idea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not being like, I'm tough and I'm buff, so I'm an alpha. You're a so you can't. I mean, you're still broke driving your Pinto.
Okay then.
Driving a truck doesn't make you an alpha. Driving a truck doesn't make you an alpha. I mean, I got 2 trucks, so what? So, I mean, that doesn't make you tough. What makes you tough is being able to set goals and to get places. And being able to be tough with people is one thing, but being able to get results is another thing. And you have to care. If you're going to be a leader, you got to care about people, because that's probably the most important.
Yeah.
And I think that's underrated, because there's a lot of faux bravado out there that means absolutely nothing, and it's masking an insecurity that you don't want to reveal to the public. So treating other people and being kind and decent, which is very much free and not that difficult at all, that will show you more as a person than whatever faux bravado that you want to display.
Yeah, and if you come to my alpha school and you have a man bun, I guarantee you won't have one when you leave.
Anyway, with that said,
I even cut my hair as well.
I think we have come to the end here. The last thing will be our coffees of the month for February and the year of our Lord 2025. We will have our Eye Cracker Blend and Guatemala. These are our coffees of the month. Lucas, you want to speak to the Guatemala?
Well, one thing about the Guatemala, I feel like everyone in our building always mispronounces is it Hoi Hoi Tango or Hui Hui Tango? That's the one thing I
Neither.
Neither. They're both wrong.
I feel like that's what everyone says in this building, and no one knows how to actually say it correctly.
See, the cool thing about coffee is I'm a young immigrant from the Midwest, and I have learned to speak lots of different languages, at least understand them a lot, and learn about all kinds of really cool places. And that's actually pronounced Wei Wei.
Hoi Hoi Tango.
Okay.
And that's the place you have to take a helicopter in to buy coffee and take a helicopter out, because if you stay overnight, they're going to kill you. It is. I have a bullet. You know what? We should do show and tell one day. I have a Terex bullet. Oh my God! People are going to pound on me. I have an Terex bulletproof jacket with Kevlar in it that was designed for when I went to Guatemala. They pick us up in armored vehicles.
Yeah, that's the armored vehicle spot.
We live here in the U.S. We think everything's good, everything's nice, and we're going to fight about that person over there wants to be something else than they are, or whatever. They're purple or whatever. Man, you go to Guatemala, you go to Honduras, you go to one of these other countries. Our problems are nothing.
Nothing compared to them.
Nothing.
Yep. At any rate,
Those aren't
Either way,
problems.
it's
Those
a-
aren't problems.
Anyways, I know I brought it up. I just thought it was pretty funny. But this is a great coffee. It's a great medium roast. We use it in a lot of our blends. It's an excellent coffee. It has that excellent flavor to it.
and then we also have Eye Cracker, which is designed for espresso, but I also love this as a pour over. I love the complexities of this coffee.
Why
It's
is
so
that, Lucas?
delicious.
Do you know?
Why what?
Because you can because great espresso will always make great coffee.
But
Great coffee?
does not always make great espresso.
That is true.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
For instance, like the IPA we had last month is an amazing example of that. Like fruity coffee does not work super well in espresso, but if it's a great espresso coffee, it's going to be great as anything else for the most part.
yeah.
As
So,
one of our customers just said, it tastes like cherry puke.
Yeah.
Oh, vomit, excuse me. Like I get
something like
correct,
that.
cherry vomit.
yeah. Like, it's not gonna be for everybody.
Okay, it says fruit forward. Fruit forward.
Very much fruit forward.
Probably going to be fruity. We don't generally like to tell stories about what's in the bag because that makes customers mad.
Yeah. I mean, and the descriptions of the coffees are on the website as well. So generally, if we put cherries and oranges and red apple as the cupping notes, that's what it is. So,
There's your warning.
there's your warning. Like, it's right there. So
All right. Well, if I haven't offended, and so those are our 2 coffees of our month. If I haven't offended you yet, please leave us a message and let me know how I can offend you. And if you want to sign up for Alpha School, that's coming soon too. Shortly.
Is the sign-up's going to be on Coffee Call at this point?
Anyway, yeah.
Like,
Oh my goodness! Listen,
on
I
the
hope
front page.
I hope people don't take me or other things too seriously. As life is short, you need to enjoy life, not worry about crazy stuff.
Indeed. So with that, head on over to coffeecult.com. Check out these coffees of the month. We'll see you guys next time.
My jelly cat's missing.